Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Helena and today's video is on morning yoga. I hope I can set you up for a great day ahead. And we're going to start off in a seated position like I am now. And we're going to aim to get a straight spine going from the hips up to the crown of the head. And for some of you this might mean sitting on a block or a book if you don't have a block, or just taking out the fleshy parts of the sit bones so they can evenly sit onto the ground. We're going to take the hands either to the thighs or to heart center. And we're going to take a couple of deep, soothing breaths in through the nose, counting for 6, and out through the mouth, and maybe closing your eyes down as you do so. As we inhale, counting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as we exhale, counting for 1, 2, 3, 4. As we inhale, counting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as we exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. And any kind of harsh gaze which you might have behind the eyelids now, just allowing that to release. Gently opening up with the eyes, drawing the shoulders towards the ears, taking them back, taking them down, and taking any kind of movements from side to side which feel good. Before we start coming into the more dynamic part of this morning's practice. On the next inhale, we're going to lift up with the fingertips, drawing them towards the ceiling, taking the gaze up too. And as we exhale, we're going to draw those hands forward, maybe taking the fingertips, maybe the palms to the ground. As we inhale, just lifting up with the chest, taking the gaze forward, exhaling, dropping down. Maybe crawling the hands, the fingertips a little bit further forward, allowing the chest to move towards the ground. So it can be really easy just to allow the head to round, but instead keeping a straight spine, allowing that chest to drop towards the ground. When we've reached our maximum, maybe having a little curve in our head, allowing that neck to round. Taking one more deep inhale here. As we exhale, slowly drawing the body back up through center, crawling the hands one by one into the body. And then we're going to take the legs out to either side. So this is our pancake pose position. And today we're going to draw the toes, the big toes, in towards the body. And we're going to allow the hands to come one by one out in front of us, drawing the chest forward. Having a little bit of an explore here, maybe taking the movements in the elbows from left to right, noticing if one side feels tighter than the other. And then we're going to draw the arms over towards the left side, taking one arm onto each side of that left foot, drawing the left toes in towards the face, noticing how it feels, the intensity as you do so. And then maybe pointing with the toes, seeing the difference that this makes. Taking another round of this. Using the breath to guide you. And then one by one, taking the hands back through to center. And then taking them onto either side of that right foot. So again, as we inhale, maybe drawing the toes in towards the face, noticing the intensity coming from the ankle all the way up the leg into the hip. And as we exhale, pointing the toes out. Coming back to neutral, moving the hands back through to center, coming back into our pancake once more, drawing the toes in towards the face and maybe taking the arms a little bit further out, reaching our maximum with that straight spine before allowing the head to round. Taking a couple of deep breaths here, perhaps setting yourself an intention for the day ahead. And then one by one, crawling the hands in towards the body. Coming onto all fours, so taking the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. Firstly, just focusing on spreading the fingers wide, so taking a gap between each finger, what I like to call spider fingers. And this helps to reduce any tension in the wrist area. And then we're slowly going to draw those right fingertips out in front of us, taking the gaze to the right fingertips and drawing the belly button towards the spine, so getting a real pull here as we keep our core engaged. If we feel ready to do so, taking that left leg out behind us, pointing with the left ankle towards the back of the room. Really keeping the core deeply engaged here, taking one more inhale. Exhaling to drop the knee to the ground and then to take the hand slowly back to the ground, maybe taking a wriggle with the hips from each side. And on the next inhale, we're going to draw the left fingertips forward, taking the gaze onto the left fingertips. Keeping the core in tight, drawing the belly button towards the spine. And then if we feel ready to do so, taking that right heel towards the back of the room. Pushing back with that right heel as you extend with the left fingers, dropping with the shoulders, so not crunching them around the ears, which mine always tend to want to do. Taking one more deep breath here before slowly dropping that knee back to the ground, taking the hand to the ground, and then taking the forearms out in front of us, coming into our puppy dog pose. So a little different than our child's pose, in which we have the heels to the ankles. Here we've got our hips raised. So with each inhale, we're going to be wanting to draw the hips a little higher towards the ceiling. And maybe having the forehead onto the ground, maybe the chin. Taking another round of breath here. And then slowly, one by one, drawing the body back through to center, taking the hands in towards the body, curling under with the toes, lifting with the hips, but only slightly this time. We're just going to take the knees about 2 or 3 inches off the ground, again, really engaging the core. We want to keep our core activated for the day ahead. That's why I like to incorporate this into morning yoga. Taking one more deep inhale here, remembering those spider fingers. Exhaling, dropping the knees to the ground. Taking a few moments here, coming back to the breath. And on the next inhale, we're going to lift with the hips once more, but this time coming into our downward facing dog. And remembering we can make any movements with the feet one by one towards the ground with the heels. And it's always okay to have a bend in the knees here. We want to try and get a straight spine going from the crown of the head up towards the hips rather than getting straight legs. We're going to take another breath here and noticing how the body feels. Is there any tension which is more predominant on one side of the body than the other? And then one by one, we're going to take the feet towards the hands and simultaneously the hands towards the feet. So maybe taking one hand at a time, then the other, and then one foot and the other, until we're going to meet in the middle. And when we've come to the middle, and I'm just moving around so you can see this a little more clearly, we're going to bend significantly with the knees so we can take our hands around opposite elbows and coming into our ragdoll, allowing the neck to round and relax, and taking the elbows one by one to left and right. So here we're moving into the calves, into the ankles, into the hamstrings. Depending on what's a tighter area for you, that might be where you feel it most significantly. Allowing the head to relax. Taking another deep round of breath here. And then as you exhale, dropping the hands to the ground. And then vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing the body back up to standing, remembering the knees can be as bent as you need them to be. And seeing if the last thing to reach the top can be the head. Brilliant. And then coming down into our yogi squat, our malasana. So taking the feet, so they're about hip width apart. Toes can be placed slightly outwards. Ideally having them both facing forward if you're there yet. And taking the elbows onto the insides of the legs. What I would suggest to beginners and people who have tight ankles is to stand onto a book here or maybe a block. And this will just help you to get that height you need in order to sit comfortably in your malasana. And then maybe taking the hands to heart center, closing with the eyes, and visualizing what you want to happen in your day ahead. So making any movements here which feel natural and allow you to relax. And just imagining what you want to happen in your day, how you want to feel, what you want to accomplish. And taking a few more moments there. And then when you feel ready to do so, opening the eyes if you've had them closed. Taking the knees so that they're facing forward once again, dropping the sit bones to the ground. And we're going to take the legs out in front of us. Making a little bit of a bend in the knees here can feel good. And dropping the shoulders up and down once more. allowing the chest to slowly move forward, taking the hands maybe around the shins or the thighs, and then we've reached our maximum, allowing that head to round. Noticing how it feels, any tension you might feel in the neck, in the calves, in the hamstrings, and really breathing into that here. And taking one more round of breath before slowly, gently moving the body back through to center, crossing over with the legs. And we're going to take a twist to each side. And twists are really good for starting our day with, because it tends to be that when we're sleeping, our muscle can get quite tight, especially in our back. And also twists are really good for bringing energy into the body. So we'll start off on the left side, taking that right hand onto the outside of the left leg, taking the left hand behind the left hip. As we inhale, we're going to draw the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to twist with the body towards the back of the room. Inhaling once more, lifting crown of the head. Exhaling to twist. And taking one more of these completely in your own time. Going to the depth which feels right for you today. And then slowly, mindfully bringing the body back through center. And we'll come directly onto the other side. So this time taking that right hand behind the right hip, taking the left hand onto the outside of the right leg, inhaling, lifting crown of the head towards the ceiling. And exhaling to twist with the chest. Sometimes when I'm doing this, especially if I'm doing it first thing, I get so many clicks coming up my back. Taking another round of breath here. Moving the body gently back through to center. Taking the hands behind the body. So maybe we're going to wrap the hands around opposite elbow. I'm going to demonstrate the other way around. And if you're particularly flexible in the shoulder area, you might want to take the palms of our hands together, coming into a reverse prayer. We're going to draw the elbows towards one another in whichever of these two variations that we're in. And this is just to allow for a further stretch of the back. Taking another couple of deep breaths here. Gently releasing the arms wherever you are. I'm going to take the hands back either to heart center or onto the legs. Closing with the eyes, coming back to the breath. Again, visualizing what you want the day ahead to be like, how you want to feel, and what you want to accomplish. Taking one really deep, soothing breath here. As you exhale, gently opening with the eyes. I wish you all an amazing day ahead. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and like this video. I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks so much. Bye bye.